Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for checking out this video here on Show, Style, and Spirit. I am Ebony, of course. And as you can see from the title of this video, we're going to be talking about a couple of different stories, including Evelyn Lozada. She gets dragged by Jennifer Williams' mother-in-law for Evelyn dragging Jen's new husband, Christian Gold. And it gets really ugly. Oh my gosh. And then we're going to talk about Kandi from the R&B group Escape, former cast member of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Kandi has spoken out about her aunt Bertha, and it is a little sad. So before we get into these stories, I ask that you please hit the like button on this video and please subscribe to the channel. Of course, everything that I'm saying in this video is alleged and just my opinion, and the Copyright Act of 1976 says that my fair use commentary on these stories are allowed. All right, so we're going to go ahead and start off with the mess. We are going to talk about this video of Christian Gold's mother going in on Evelyn Lozada, okay? It is hilarious. I posted it on my IG stories because I was shocked at the fact that as soon as you opened up the app at 8 a.m., there Miss Gold was going in. Now, I know Christian Gold isn't his legal name, but just for today, we'll refer to her as Miss Gold, okay? So that was how this Thursday morning started, and it was a fun start, I have to admit. So I will go ahead and mute my mic so that there's no echo for you all. Please hit the like button. Thank you so much.
Okay, why don't you talk about what's going on in your house? Like, your baby daddy, go pay his artists. He owe his artists, don't he? His failed record company. Like, dude, don't you owe Meg? Don't you owe these people? Go pay these people. Won't you worry about that? Like, your daughter is living in the house with you. Y'all don't get no financial support because all his checks going to BMI. Why don't you talk about these kind of things? Like, I don't know. You're so invested in what Jen and Christian got going on, but you don't want to talk about the things that's going on in your household.
Well, you don't want nobody else to talk about the things.
Yeah. You say I shouldn't talk about your daughter. The game has fucked you and your daughter. Okay, right. They got pictures where you and Tiffany and Shawnee and your daughter is all there while you was pregnant. But then your daughter go and fuck the same dude you didn't fuck who y'all friends. Like, he done ran a train on y'all at this point. You know, I'm just saying, like, don't your baby daddy owe people's money, drown in his goddamn pool? He got sued for that. It's a lot of topics that we could talk about. Bitch, Evelyn, you was pregnant with Carl's child at the same time his own daughter was just 5 months old. Bitch, do the math. Talk about that. He was with his ex while you was pregnant. Talk about that. There's so much other shit that you could be talking about. Jen, Christian and this girl was broken up before he even got with Jen. But you around here fucking a nigga who got a wife. And his child 5 months, and you 6 months pregnant. Bitch, can you add? But that's just who you are. You talk about everything. But let me tell you something, bitch. You go low, I'm going straight to hell. I can give a fuck. Okay? Why don't you talk about what's going on in your house? Like, your baby daddy, go pay his artists. He owe his artists, don't he? His failed record company. Like, dude, don't you owe Meg? Don't you owe these people? Go pay these people. Won't you worry about that? Like, your daughter is living in the house with you. Y'all don't get no financial support because all his checks going to BMI. Why don't you talk about these kind of things? Like, I don't know. You're so invested in what Jen and Christian got going on, but you don't want to talk about the things that's going on in your household.
Well, you don't want nobody else to talk about the things.
Yeah. You say I shouldn't talk about your daughter. The game has fucked you and your daughter. Okay. Right. They got pictures where you and Tiffany and Shawnee and your daughter is all there while you was pregnant. But then your daughter go and fuck the same dude you didn't fuck who y'all friends. Like, he done ran a train on y'all at this point. like, don't your baby daddy owe people's money, drown in his goddamn pool? He got sued for that. It's a lot of topics that we could talk about. Bitch, Evelyn, you was pregnant with Carl's child at the same time his own daughter was just 5 months old. Bitch, do the math. Talk about that. He was with his ex while you was pregnant. Talk about that. There's so much other shit that you could be talking about. Jen, Christian and this girl was broken up before he even got with Jen. But you around here fucking a nigga who got a wife. And his child 5 months, and you 6 months pregnant. Bitch, can you add? But that's just who you are. You talk about everything, but let me tell you something, bitch. You go low, I'm going straight to hell. I can give a fuck. Okay?
Are y'all okay? You didn't pass out, did you? I need some pearls because, baby, I had to clutch them. Mama, Christian Gold's mama, she dragged Evelyn by her Latina hair, those curls. Like, there's like nothing left. Oh my gosh. She dragged her from the West Coast, Basketball Wives LA, all the way back to the East Coast. Isn't Evelyn from New York? Like, she's back home now. Mom, oh my gosh. So she talked about Carl Crawford. So, okay. People talk about Evelyn Lozada allegedly has been with men from all of the major sports leagues. Ocho Cinco is the NFL. Allegedly there may have been some sort of thing going on between her and Shaq. I'm just repeating a rumor, Evelyn. That would be the NBA, and I'm sure others in the NBA. Kenny Anderson, Tammy Roman's ex-husband. That was the whole "you were a non-mother" factor. Kenny Anderson, which, by the way, like, if you Google Kenny Anderson, allegedly, there's been so many women, so many baby mamas, that his NBA pension, and these kids are probably young adults now, so maybe he's been delivered from paying child support. But at one point, he had so many baby mamas to pay that his NBA pension, it was hardly any money left over for him after all the payments were made, reportedly. But, again, he may not even be in that situation anymore, because I think all his kids are probably at least 18 or very close to it. And then back to Evelyn with the baseball league, we have Carl Crawford, whom she has a son with. And we all know that he started his record label. He signed Megan Thee Stallion to a ridiculous recording contract that I believe Jay-Z's attorney, Alex Spiro, in the jaws of life had to get her out of. So that is what Christian Gold's mom was referring to. She also did what I like to call cheaters math. I was first introduced to cheaters math while watching, you guessed it, Love and Marriage Huntsville. And when the Fletchers joined the show and Dustin Ross interviewed Nell Fletcher, and she would try to justify all of the who, zoom, and who, and, people on the low and creeping around, okay? She would do like her cheaters math, and she would say like, this baby was born at this time and I was pregnant and it takes 9 months and you carried a 1 and all of this stuff. So Christian Gold's mom was able to do the cheaters math. She said that allegedly Evelyn Lozada was 6 months pregnant when Carl Crawford had a baby, and the baby was just 5 months old at the time that Evelyn was 6 months pregnant. So if I correctly do cheaters math, that would mean that while the baby was still baking in his wife's oven, he was banging Evelyn and they conceived a child. Did I get the cheaters math right? And so, yeah, that's a lot going on. That is a lot going on. But Christian Gold's mom's point is, you cannot judge my son. You cannot drag him until you deal with your own. Now, then she talks about the rapper of the game. We all know that Evelyn Lozada is a glam mama now, as her daughter Shanice has had a baby with the game. Now, this is Christian Christian's mama talking about the game, being with mom and them. I just did not hear that. So have y'all heard that? I didn't know that. I can't believe it. It's just hard for me to believe because I wouldn't be able to give up my kitty cat to someone who's been with I just couldn't. No. Mm-mm. That's beyond therapy. That is beyond altar call on Sundays. That is beyond the prayer hotline, any type of hotline. No, I cannot. So it's hard for me to believe that about the game, but that is what Christian's mama was saying. What did y'all think about that? That was just like to me, this is her audition tape for Basketball Wives season 13. I feel like this is her audition tape. VH1, the producers need to look at it. This is her test filming, and they totally need to book her. Okay, she's worthy of holding a basketball and being on the show. What do you think? Now, it's only right that we be fair in our reporting, okay? And I want to play the video of one of Christian Gold's alleged baby mamas. She is talking about him owing the back child support. So here she is. So I'm going to go ahead and play this video, and then we'll talk about Aunt Bertha. All right, so let's go ahead. I'm going to mute my mic. I just don't want you all to experience an echo. Here we go.
So get ready, because yes, I am mama. I am taking care of these babies. And guess what? I want you to live your best life. Do what you want to do. Travel, see the world, live your best life. But stop causing chaos in other people's lives and not taking responsibility for what you have to do to fix it. Fix it. Stop not paying people back. Stop ignoring the fact that you owe child support. Stop pretending like, oh, life is so grand and we're rich and we have all this money and we're just living our best lives and we don't care what we're doing to everybody else. We're just la, 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 just fuck everybody. We're living our best life. Okay, keep living your best life. But guess what? We're coming for you. We're coming for you because you still owe money. You still need to take responsibility. And if you don't want to do it, we're going to make you. My issue with people is that you think that you can go into somebody's house, build a relationship, get close to those people, and then walk the fuck out and throw a grenade in that bitch and light it on fire. And then you turn around and look back like you did nothing. You take no responsibility for what you've done to cause chaos in people's lives. That's my issue that I have. Because if we really want to talk about it, we have receipts, text messages, conversations showing where you have disrupted the peace in people's homes. That's why you owe people money. You owe your own children money. You owe your own children so much back pay because you don't take responsibility for what you're supposed to do as a father, as a businessman. That's why we're speaking up. So y'all can give zero fucks all you want. So get ready. Because yes, I am mama. I am taking care of these babies. And guess what?
Okay, y'all. So I played that video just once. So I was giggling in the beginning because I was just thinking Jen Williams and her husband Christian, I believe by now they're legally married. They did have a ceremony in Paris. But I'm hoping, I was giggling because I was thinking they have so much drama. Jen really shouldn't be on Basketball Wives. Her and Christian need their own show because the producers of Basketball Wives, they cannot truly be dedicated to all of us and all of the drama that Jen and Christian have to offer when she has to be on an ensemble cast. She should not be on Basketball Wives for season 12. They should have given her her own spinoff so that we can deal with Christian's mama and the baby mamas. and the back child support, because we got to help her. We got to help this lady. But she seems like she's determined. I think she's going to get hers. But I am just amazed by how much drama one new couple has garnered. And I just want to talk briefly about when you get married or even just dating someone, you could be potentially opening up your life to so much drama that was non existent in your single life. All in the name of just saying that you have a companion or you have a man or this is my husband. Sometimes people get caught up in those titles and they worship those words. They want to be somebody's girlfriend. They want to be somebody's wife. They want to plan the wedding. They want to wear the white gown. And it makes them lose all of their common sense and they go completely crazy. It's hard for me to like deal with knowing some people, they break into their 401k and do a large withdrawal to pay for a wedding and call me pessimistic. But when it comes to that 401k savings, I'm like, dude, you have a 50% shot at the marriage working out. And forgive me, YouTube, for saying SHOT. You have a 50% chance of the marriage working out. Do you want to take out dozens of thousands of dollars out of your 401k? Like, is it worth it? And then and some parents get sucked into it because they'll do anything for their kids, right? You take a BULLET for your child, right? So you call Fidelity or whichever financial company is managing your 401k, and you do the withdrawal, and they mail you the check or send the electronic funds, and it's dozens of thousands of dollars that took you years to save, and anything for your baby, and then they've got a 50% chance of the marriage working out. And I just feel like you have to be so careful and don't feel like you have to sacrifice your peace and your money and open yourself up to all this bullshit just so you can have a companion. I know sometimes you may feel lonely, but it is just a feeling and it will pass. I just don't want you to sacrifice so much of yourself. Because when we go through trauma, our nervous system takes a hit, and you could have health issues because of being traumatized, because of being stressed out. So it's just really not worth it, in my opinion. And this is going to sound negative, but I don't see this lasting. Jennifer Williams, she's never come off as very confrontational to me. She always seemed like she shied away from getting physical on Basketball Wives. Even in scenes where she has to go head to head with a woman, I feel like it's just not really her to be super duper confrontational, which is fine because you can only be yourself. So I just cannot see how she would take on all of this drama. Not to mention, what is she supposed to help him with the back child support? Like Nell helped Chris with the $20,000? Just go ask Lexi. You can watch her video, one of her chapter videos on her YouTube channel. I think that that's crazy. And it just comes off like it's all in the name of having a man. What do you think about all of this drama? Do you think that Jen was aware of it when they were dating? I don't think Jen was totally just like green as a tree outside and didn't know that he had baby mamas and some child support. She knew that, he had legal issues. And, she still got with them anyway. I couldn't call me a prude or stuck up, or what did Kimmy and Tisha call Melody? Bougie. Call me what you want, honey. I cannot deal with that. I feel like, in a way, it would have been great to experience motherhood. But at the same time, I do think that it's sexy and fly to be an educated Black woman. And yeah, I'm blessed to own my home, have a mortgage. But, and I don't have children. I can get up and go as I please. Dinner doesn't have to be extravagant. And, I'm not the best cook, and it's all good, right? So I just don't feel the need to take a jab at my peace of mind and my self-esteem and my current state of life, all in the name of having a man. I just don't, and I won't. All right, so now let's get to talking about Aunt Bertha, Kandi's aunt. So I'm going to let Kandi tell the story, and then I will come back with my commentary. So I'm going to mute my mic. Please hit the like button. Thank you.
The old lady gang, they are, and I don't really feel like it's, I don't know if you discuss things like this. I don't know how. We're having a really hard time because my Bertha has Alzheimer's. So, trying to manage that. If anybody's ever dealt with somebody in your family going through that and it gets worse, and then everybody is like, it's not easy. You know what I mean? So it's it's a time. It's a time. So I don't mean to get all emotional with y'all. So let me move on past that, because I like to have fun on Amazon Live. I don't like to deal with the sad things. You know what I mean? The old lady gang.
Well, I was thinking people would like to have a picture with the old LG, and you could charge $5 for the pictures.
Okay.
Now, Bertha, so what are you seeing?
What do you want to do?
Nothing.
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 Well, you could make a few cakes. I'll be damn.
Bertha, she doesn't really like being in the mix. So I'm thinking maybe we should keep her where it's less interaction with the people.
Well, I was thinking people would like to have a picture.
You look so cute, Bertha.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do look cute.
Brandon. I really don't care that much for Brandon.
You know it ain't perfect.
He tries to be nice and everything. I mean, like I say, I can take him or leave him. Oren. Oh, I love him.
You look so cute, Bertha.
No, I don't.
Yes,
He told me that. I said, oh, hell, I paid double for that.
But at the end of the day, he never got no pictures. He was telling you a story, Mama.
Well, it could have been a scheme that Todd set up for him to come to you with the bush.
Huh.
He told me that. I said, oh, hell, I paid double for that.
But at the end of the day, he never got no pictures. He was telling you a story, Mama.
Well, it could have been a scheme that Todd set up for him to come to you with the bush.
Oh, that will always be my favorite scene of Aunt Bertha on The Real Housewives of Atlanta. That's where we get the funny memes and the whole slogan. I think it's a scheme that Todd set up. Whenever there's something in the blogs and everybody's trying to figure it out, sometimes even Todd will make a comment on the story. He'll say, I have nothing to do with it. It goes back to Aunt Bertha. That was hilarious. That was like back in the day when he and Aunt Mama Joyce would bump heads. And in that same Amazon Live, Kandi confirmed that Mama Joyce still bumps heads with Todd to this day. But I don't want to talk about Kandi's mama. Remember, Cynthia Bailey said, you don't come for Kandi's food, you don't come for her man, and you don't come for her mama. So I ain't going to speak on Mama Joyce. We all know what it is, okay? You need to let that go. But I did take some notes about Aunt Bertha and Kandi saying that she now has Alzheimer's. My mom died of Alzheimer's. It's a very complicated disease. It's very sad because like your family member, they're still physically here, but mentally, they're not. So it's very sad, and it's a very long process. And with my mom, it was early onset. And so I was in my mid-20s when she started showing signs of dementia. And my family took her to a neurologist, and it just seemed like that was like the fastest 5 years of my life. It just became so aggressive. And I know YouTube X funny when you mention DRUGS. I'm definitely not saying the names of any, but the doctors were like, oh, let's put her on this. And then she got the one rare a side effect of liver damage. And then so they took her off that and they put her on something else. And then they said, oh, we can, make the meds work stronger by putting her on, aeroids, and put a ST in the front of that, which just kind of turned her into a zombie. My dad said that she would like sleep all day and it was like freaking him out. And then they had to slowly take her off of those because they were so powerful. And it was just a lot, and there was always like taking her to emergency and it was very stressful. So I feel like from my mid to late 20s, it was just like sad. I can remember I met this guy on Plenty of Fish and we went out on a date. We went to a soul food restaurant, and it was at the time where like anything that the doctors prescribed or suggested, my mom's body was reacting to it and she'd have to go to emergency. And it was just always bad news whenever I got a text. So I'm out on this date and my phone vibrates and I didn't even realize, but like I tensed up. And this is the first date. And the guy is like, whoa, like your phone just vibrated and you just got scared. Like, what's up with that? And I was trying to like avoid it because, you don't want to be emotionally slutty on the first date. And he's like, no, what's wrong? And then I had to tell him, well, like, my mom is sick. And, I just took him through the whole spiel, and he was supportive. But that's when I had the breakthrough. Like I was really dealing with anxiety. And if my phone just vibrated, it got me so tense. And when she passed away, it was really strange because in a way, there was almost like a relief because it was like something that I had been fearing, and then it happened. And then immediately after, the anxiety, it got way worse. So, and just feeling like panic attacks if I would go to church or anywhere where it's like a crowd, and feeling like you can't leave because, during church, you have to sit still while the sermon is going. So it was just a lot that I dealt with right after she passed. And so I feel really bad for the family because hearing that news just kind of took me down that path of all those things that I just shared with you all. So I would just say, just try to keep her stimulated. I remember I would call my parents on my lunch break and like try to talk to mama. I would try to think of stuff that could get her to thinking. I would say, mama, you remember when you would fry chicken, right? And you would wash it off, and then you'd season it and put it in the flour, and then you put it in the oil, and can you hear it like sizzling? And I don't really think it made a difference, but she was mama, and I was just trying my best to stimulate her mind, and I would talk about watermelon when you bite into it and it's so sweet, but what if you put salt on it? Those were things I would talk about with her on my lunch break. And so when she did pass away, my daily life really wasn't impacted because it was Alzheimer's that she had. It wasn't like we had a real conversation, and we did that all the time with her having Alzheimer's, but it was just still like I still missed her, you know what I mean? So I feel really bad, but I hope that they give her Bertha puzzles, the Sudoku puzzles, journals, and hopefully she gets into writing. I don't know if she read books, if there's a genre that she likes. Try their best to fight this thing, and research natural foods that Aunt Bertha can eat that could possibly, help her brain as much as it can. Don't give up. And I would say, don't just rely on the man-made medicines that the doctors prescribe, because if I could go back, that's what I would do different, with mama. Like, let's look up some foods that she can eat to see if that will help. But I'm going to end this video here because I forgot to plug up my computer and StreamYard is running the battery. What are some encouraging words that you have for Kandi and her family? Thank you so much for watching this video, and please hit the like button. I will talk with you soon. Bye.